Thank you, Radhika. It's wonderful to be here. I appreciate the Friends of Socialist China and the International Manifesto Group for putting this together and including me in the process. So it's very good to see so many people here, and I'm learning a lot already from the presentations that have preceded mine. Um, I want to, we put this together. This got put together, in honor, of course, of the 80th anniversary of the end of the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression in China, and of course, Chen Weihua pointed out that it's also the 14th, the 94th anniversary of the 1931 invasion that began really the long period of resistance in China. Um, but when we think about, the sort of theme of our gathering today, China's role in the defeat of fascism, the victory over fascism, um, I want to sort of complicate that just a little bit by recognizing that fascism, of course, as we understand in World War II, was not simply a matter of Germany and Japan. Italy, of course, was under Mussolini. Spain, although they remained neutral in the war, had a fascist dictatorship under Franco. So fascism was a wider problem, and of course, as Jody talked about and Chen Weihua referred to as well, fascism remains with us today and is something against which most of us, I think, are involved in struggling now. But when I think about China's role in defeating fascism back in the 1930s and 40s, it's not really so much a matter of China defeating, China as a political organization defeating this. It's the Chinese people, the people of China who fought to resist against the Japanese invading their country. And those people were also, of course, involved in struggle on multiple fronts and being led by the Communist Party. And of course, with the Red Army, Chinese Red Army, as the leading fighting force, uh, they faced a challenge that encompassed, of course, the immediate and most pressing task of resistance against the Japanese invaders, but also that took place in the context of a conflict within China, which had been going on since the 1920s between the Communist Party and the fascist nationalists. We should remember always that at the same time that the Red Army and the CPC was fighting to maintain itself, fighting to survive, the nationalist government under Chiang Kai-shek was receiving military aid, training, and weapons and machinery from Nazi Germany. So the fact that eventually, the Axis, the fascist Axis, comes to settle on Japan and Germany and Italy, certainly Chiang Kai-shek flirted, more than flirted, with fascism, with fascist links to Germany in the mid 1930s, and so the CPC and the Red Army find themselves waging a conflict, waging a struggle against Japan, but also in the context of an ongoing struggle with the nationalists. And that was something which, again, as was mentioned, the nationalists. I don't want to suggest that the nationalists did nothing in resisting the Japanese. Certainly, there were many patriotic fighters in the nationalist forces, and even among some of the officer corps and all. But at the top of that government was a regime that was not interested in prioritizing the war with Japan. They did what they had to protect themselves and survive, but they didn't really play the main leading role in trying to defeat the Japanese, trying to stop the Japanese, get rid of the Japanese, and end Japanese imperialism overall. That was the Red Army. That was the Communist Party. And that was the people of China. The party, of course, leading that struggle, trying to organize and guide that struggle, and the Red Army being the primary fighting forces, but guerrilla forces, local groups around North China that came out of the villages, they took part in this fighting as well, and it was that mass movement quality or the resistance against Japan that really drove it and made it as effective as it was. And of course, when as Jody mentioned, and I think Chen Weihua as well, tying down well over 1 million Japanese troops in China during the war, that had a crippling effect on Japan's overall military capabilities. In tandem, or perhaps in triplicate, with all of those, with those two, was the deeper struggle, the real profound struggle, the class struggle that the Communist Party was leading. This was the struggle to overthrow the old system, the system of landlord capitalism, industrial capitalism in the cities, and that, they experimented even while fighting against the invaders and resisting the efforts of the nationalists to destroy them. They were able to experiment with land reform, with transforming the old remnants of ancient family systems and things like that. So these struggles, they really fought on three fronts: against the Japanese, against the nationalists, and against the old ruling class, the old
That's
ruling
good.
classes. So I think we really want to recognize that struggle and the ability
Have a good.
of the communist leadership to pursue that was quite remarkable, quite remarkable. And that victory, those successive victories, the defeat of Japan, the defeat of the nationalists, and the victory of the revolution and the empowerment of the people, the working people of China, that takes place eventually based on their devotion and their commitment to leadership. So mobilizing the people, working with the people, serving the people, this was the guiding principle. And of course, the contrast with the anti-fascist struggles which took place in Western Europe. The United States, Britain, the French government in exile, certainly they were opposed to fascism because, as was pointed out, fascism was also opposed to the predominance of the capitalist ruling classes. In fascism, the state tries to direct the economy rather than the state serving as an instrument of the capitalist elites. And so, those elites, they wanted to get rid of fascism so that they could reassert their power and reclaim their privileges over the people in Europe as well. And the same was true, of course, in China, that Chiang Kai-shek and the nationalists resist the Japanese, not in order to create a more just and equitable China, but in order to regain their capacity to exploit the Chinese people more effectively themselves. So this struggle on three fronts goes on, comes to culmination over Japan in 1945, the defeat of the nationalists by 1949, and the ongoing victory over, capitalism and the old landlord capitalist system to see China build its socialist future, to see China embark upon this long and continuing prolonged struggle to create that society of socialism, justice, equity that the people fought for and continue to work for and labor for today. So I think this is a moment when hats off, to the Chinese people, hats off to anti-fascist fighters everywhere during those critical years in the middle of the 20th century and today. Wherever we see the threat of fascism reviving, denying the history that if we forget it, we're going to repeat it. We need to be alert to these dangers, and we need to dedicate ourselves, just as the CPC and the Red Army and the Chinese people did, to this struggle, however long it takes, however many years it takes, because this is the only way that we're going to be able to create the future that we all dream of. Thank you.
I'm Michael Hudson. I'm appearing here for the International Manifesto Group. If you like this video and ones like it, please subscribe. For more information, go to the address on the screen.